button. Come on in, folks. We see you out there. It's time to start Comics by Night. Got some great classic Marvel work by John Buscema to take a look at. Let me swing over to my Facebook before we get stuff started here and see if I can turn my broadcast public. Let's see if this is going to work. No, let me try it this way. Sorry to make you wait, folks. Yep, not working. So if you're going to watch me on Facebook, you're going to have to watch after the fact. That's the way that works. All right, come on in, everybody. We see you out there. We're going to run the opening and get rolling. It is, well, I wish Roland was here. Anyway, Glenn and I are going to go through it. Russ is on a boat somewhere. Not a slow boat to China, but he's off on holiday.
You know what it's like.
You never know. Never know.
You might be going over there to teach them the martial arts.
Could be it, or to yell at parked cars, shout at parked cars.
You get in trouble. You get in trouble there if he does that.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
That's right. Comics by Night, folks. It's 5 a.m. where I am, middle of the night. Wife's just left for work, and I'm here to look at funny books. So here we are. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You know my stuff from Arrow Comics. I'm currently writing The Atlantean with artwork by the great Russ Leach. It's the adventures of Cull and Brule as they travel their savage lands looking for the remnants of a race of shape-shifting lizard people that are intent on taking over the world, all based off of the Shadow Kingdom, which Russ and I adapted last year. Had a lot of fun doing it, so we just kept those characters running in the Atlantean, and we've had 2 volumes out so far. The second volume, I believe, is available now at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. I haven't checked lately, but we have told them, I believe, that everybody has gotten their copies from the campaign, and haven't seen any reviews yet. Real eager to have folks read it. So I'm very proud of that story. Learned a lot while I was doing it. Still learning a lot. In the middle, almost finishing up book 3. I'm 5 pages away from finishing the full script for.
Don't tell Russ.
Number 3. And oh no, I already told him that he'd have the whole script there by the time he got back. Because
keep him on his toes.
I'm only about a month late on it, so
he'll do it overnight. He'll be all right.
Well, he's been drawing, the chapter behind what I've been writing anyway. So luckily, I got it. I got the plot figured out. I got the plot already done and wrote out for 4. I just have to sit there and break it down now by pages. So that shouldn't take too long. And then after that, I've got an Anniverse collection that I got to put together. An old book from Arrow Comics from 40 years ago. My first published book I did with Susan Van Camp called Tales from the Anniverse. We're going to do that as an omnibus. So, or 3, actually, it'll be 3 books. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, folks, you want to check out my work? I would recommend Shadow Kingdom. That's available over on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and The Atlantean. At least book 1 is available there. Book 2, if it's not available by now, it will be shortly. So also joining me this morning is the one and only Glenn Fleming. So Glenn, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I've been up since 4 o'clock. I'm really tired. Anyway.
That's only an hour for me.
Yeah. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I write things like this, which is an account of my 2 trips to see the late, great Jack Kirby at his home in California. And there's also somewhere a film documentary showing film of me talking with Jack in his studio. So if you want a copy of that, get in touch with me. But you can get this from Amazon. I also draw comics and stuff like that, and this is my character Hatch. This is the annotated book of his adventures. It gives you his life story, so to speak. It's got lots of artwork in it, published and unpublished, and it's got this details about my wife Helen's ceramic design of Hatch, and it's got lots of artwork in it that you've seen before from this book. And you can get that from my comic coming to Amazon soon. And last but not least, I used to publish these 3 titles a while back. And you can get all these on Amazon and eBay and everywhere else. Or you can get in touch with me. So check it out.
Right. Last week, we were covering Marvel Treasury edition number 7.
Look at that.
Covered by the great Jack Kirby. There we go. I ain't touching it. Oh, there's still.
Yep.
Got the side of the board there.
That's okay, I think.
Gonna have to look at my workbench. That's better. Nope, had it.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
It's never Memorex, folks. Back that up a little. There we are. Small earthquake here at home. There we go. How's that? Looks tight here. It's still showing a little bit of my board, but
it's okay. That's fine. We can see it.
We'll tighten up when we get to the essentials.
That's it. There. That's it. Perfect.
Perfect. There we go. Marvel Treasury edition number 7. Beautiful book from when I was a kid. The Avengers. We went through this last week.
When's that from? About 76, is that?
The book itself is 75.
Okay.
The other material is, it looks like 1970.
Yeah.
Oh. Great artwork by John Buscema. Went through most of the book. We still had one great issue to go. Behold the Vision, the first Vision, the first Black Panther as he joined the Avengers. The first Vision.
Yeah, it doesn't work with that half mask, does it? The Panther we said last week. It's much better when you can't see his face.
This makes him look like a bear.
Yeah.
More than anything. Yeah, they quickly covered that cowl back up. That's the original design, though.
Yeah.
As they had drawn it in Avengers 51, and then they covered it, fearing the market couldn't handle it. So, yeah.
FF52, you mean?
Yeah, 52. Sorry.
Great inking on this by George Klein on this episode.
Here as well.
As I remember, yeah, it's really good. He's one of those underrated people, George Klein. I think did he die in about 1969 or something? He died really young, didn't he?
I am not sure.
Yeah, he wasn't very old.
Did you see we have Black Panther back in his regular? Yeah.
Much better. It's really menacing, isn't he, like he's supposed to be?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Let me check here. Over there now.
Look at that. Wow.
Such great layouts on this, you know?
Yeah. It's fantastic work. But the good thing about these specials is that the artwork is nearly, original size, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that you can tell on this TV screen, but when you get them in your hands. Wow.
George Klein, born 1915 or 1920. They're not sure which one. But he passed in 69.
Yeah.
So probably right after he did this work.
Yeah. I think he was working on Thor when he died.
Yeah.
I think it was the Galactus thing, wasn't it? When he when Thor went looking for Galactus, and we learnt the origin of Galactus.
Very
That was
likely.
George Klein, I think. I think he only did 2 issues, but it was really good, especially after Coletta, which probably isn't too difficult, you know. But it was really good. I really liked it at the time. I remember it at the time, and then he died. So,
Yeah, Klein died of cirrhosis of the liver.
all right. So that's
6 months. 6 months after getting married.
Oh.
His death was announced in Marvel Comics Bullpen Bulletin on fan page, appearing in Fantastic Four number 93 and other comics with a December of 69 cover date.
Well,
so yeah, this is probably one of the last things he inked.
It's really good.
It is.
Wow. This is Roy Thomas writing this stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, right after he took over from Stan. But George had a huge career in comics, did a lot of stuff.
I'm taking it, I don't know a lot of his stuff, but I'm taking it he was in the 40s as well then. Started in the 40s.
No, this has got him in golden age here. Marvel Comics 40s precursor Timely. Klein was both a penciler and an inker initially on superhero features. He was among the pencilers of the superhero speedster The Wizard in All-Star Comics 8 and 9. Inked that early Marvel character over Mike Sikowski's pencil as early as All Winter Squad number 3. Klein also worked on the characters Miss America, inking the premiere issue in 44, and Young Allies, the Black Marvel, the Golden Age Black Widow, the Defender, and under the pseudonym Nick Carlton, the Challenger, the Challenger. Klein found himself more utilized, however, in what's called Timely's Animator Bullpen, which created such movie tie-in and original talking animal comics as Mighty Mouse and animated funny comic tunes. Because he was on staff, Klein frequently didn't sign his work, a typical, though not ironclad, industry habit at the time, making it difficult to assess his golden age output. And in the post-war era, Klein drew a variety of publishers. For DC, nearly 10 years before teaming with penciler Kurt Swan on various Superman titles, Klein inked him on a Boy Commando story and World Finest number 21. For American Comics Group, Klein merged into DC eventually. Klein worked on such horror suspense titles as Adventures into the Unknown, Forbidden Worlds, and Out of the Night. For Atlas Comics, Marvel's 50s iteration, Klein penciled but mostly inked stories for such comics as Marvel Tales, Sports Action, Wild Western, and Space Squadron, for which he drew the backup feature Blast Revere. By late in the decade, he was also doing stories for Prize Comics Black Magic, along with that was created by Kirby and Joe Simon.
Wow.
55, he began a long association with penciler Kurt Swan on a variety of titles for DC, Superman Family, edited by Mort Weisinger, starting with uncredited but generally recognized inks over Swan and Superboy number 38 on a backup story featuring the Boy of Steel versus Public Chimp number 1. Klein soon took on the lead features there and in Adventure Comics starring Superboy, Superman, starting in late 61 in DC's flagship title Action Comics, starring Superman in 62. Later in the 60s, Klein became the chief inker on Adventure's lead feature, The Legion of Superheroes, by writer Jim Shooter and penciler Swan, helping set the visual foundation for what would become one of DC's most popular series. In 68, with new art director and soon-to-be editorial director Carmine Infantino given the mandate to revitalize DC in the wake of rival Marvel's pop cultural and industry ascendancy, Klein was eased out along with such other Superman family artists as Wayne Boring, Jim Mooney, and George Papp, and writers Otto Binder, Edmund Hamilton, and Jerry Siegel, Superman's co-creator with Joe Shuster. Klein's final DC work was Adventure Comics number 367 in May of 68. Then he moved over to that company that DC wanted him to, or got rid of him to make their books more hip. He moved over to Marvel in 61. Kirby and Stan Lee revitalized comics, superhero team, basic history stuff, Fantastic Four 1 and 2. Generally attributed to Dick Ayers, a frequent Kirby inker before and after. Since that time, further scholarship is given tentative credit to Klein for FF1 and 2. The standard Grand Comics database, for example, unequivocally credits Klein as the primary inker, with possible alterations by Saul Brodsky.
Yeah, I heard that Saul Brodsky had inked that entire issue, but I don't know. So,
Nobody kept track of that stuff.
We'll
Nobody
never
thought it'd
know.
be important. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it says there. It could be that one or both of them inked it, and then the one or both went over it again in different places, and because they all seem to be literally dipping their ink on all these pages. We said this about the Wallace and Wally Wood pages, didn't we, the other week?
Yeah.
So we don't know who's doing what. It's a shame, but he certainly was good.
The credit given reflects the current consensus, especially on Fantastic Four number 2. Another standard reference, the unofficial handbook, the Marvel Comics Creators, gives Klein as inker for issue 1 and Sal Brodsky and George Klein for 2, with question marks behind their name. They additionally wrote on the letter page in FF number 272 and 281. Saul Brodsky is said to have been the inker of that issue. Regardless, Klein was working almost exclusively for DC during this time, known as the Silver Age of comic books, until DC's 68 shakeup. Klein became one of Marvel's most high-profile inkers in short time before his death. He embellished John Buscema on a run of the Avengers, Gene Colan on issues 46 and through 49, off that penciler's signature series, Daredevil, and his last assignment, Jack Kirby, on Thor 168 and 169, back in September and October of 69. Among the Silver Age issues he inked were the Avengers series that introduced the Vision, Yellow Jacket, and the Clint Barton Goliath. Another with the marriage of Hank Pym and the Wasp that we just looked at that last week. Brother Take My Hand in Daredevil number 47, cited by Stan Lee as one of his favorites among the comic book stories he wrote, and the cover and interior of one of Barry Windsor Smith's first U.S. comics, Daredevil number 51. So there you have it. That's Mr. Klein.
Yes, very good artist.
There's the wedding of Wasp and Yellow Jacket. It can't be. Such great stuff.
Great angles John Buscema does, doesn't he? Especially with the women.
Yeah.
The faces, he does really good angles.
Yeah, I got access to the artisan edition for the Buscema Silver Surfer work.
Oh,
I have to take a couple of episodes out and look at that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
really the openness on this is what it really reminds me of the Silver Surfer work.
Yeah, we saw this last week because that's Jackie Kennedy, isn't it? That girl in the dress, is it the Wasp? Was like Jackie Kennedy.
Janet Van Dyne. I'm sure they were trying to give some of those vibes off there.
Yeah. I think when John Buscema is drawing this kind of stuff, I think you can see that he doesn't really like it. When you look at his Conan work, I don't know. He's known, isn't he, for not really liking superheroes. he does a good job. Obviously, he's one of the best, but you can see it, I think.
Yeah, he really took to Conan. And then I think he did Tarzan when DC or when Marvel got the license. Did that for a while. It's been a while since I looked at those. I know I have them. I should dig them up.
There's that strange side view of Ben Grimm look on the top right there with that cigar. That's not good at all, is it, really?
Oops. Yeah. Well, you can't be on all the time.
Yeah, but he's a major character. You've got to get that one right.
Yeah, you would think so. Then we get this great shot of the Circus of Crime here at an angle at Worm's Eye view. Just beautiful. Great stuff.
The Ringmaster.
Find out Yellow Jacket is actually Goliath.
I always thought Steve Ditko did the Ringmaster best.
Probably created him.
Yeah, is he in Spider-Man 6 or something?
Something like that. Yeah. And then they use that group all over the place.
Yeah.
Marvy in the house. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Dropped a like. Have a great show. See you Sunday. Thank you, Marv. Appreciate it very much.
Get to work.
Please do that. If you're watching, hit that like button. Don't be afraid. Any interaction you have is absolutely free to you, but it helps our algorithms a lot. Helps us get out in front of other people on their recommendations. So, and we appreciate it. Glad to see you here, Marv.
What a fantastic angle on that. Where he's in the second page on the center spread, that first panel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really just brilliant. Just, a strange angle to draw it, but so dramatic.
So much fun, though. Back during this period, everything was hinged on dynamics and over-exaggeration.
And and the guy going through the wall, he's stuck in them. Brilliant.
Just added to the cool,
Yeah.
Little gun, cane, all sorts of touches here. Hawkeye was tied up, gets off his hook, and gets into the action just as everybody's arrested. Yeah.
This Vision guy is an android, isn't he?
Yeah.
But really corny, even cornier than Stan. Look at what he says. Did you forget you're facing one who has been called a walking solar battery? like a robot, I'd say that.
Right.
Don't worry, you'll awaken with nothing but a mild sunburn. It's really corny. Look at that hanging from the
Flash. Flash the clown. Yeah. That's funny. This isn't very red there. But anyway, should have been. That would have been funny.
That top panel there definitely needs a thwack where she's sitting there.
Yeah. It's the snake lady.
Oh no, it can't be.
It's never.
Get a lawyer, I know my rights. By now, pal, I bet you've got them memorized. Oh dear.
Why didn't Thor show? I've never got a crack at that long-haired Fink. Could you attend a wedding and battle the Silver Surfer at the same time, Stan?
Wow, look at that.
She married him even though he was mentally ill at the time. She knew it. Here she is crawling through the ductwork.
So this is Ant-Man.
Nice screw.
Is that right? Turned into Yellow Jacket, but he's really Goliath. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was kind of reverse. He was Ant-Man, and then he was Giant Man. Then he called himself Goliath because he got stuck at 40 feet there for a while. So he had that problem that longer than 4 hours thing, and he had to consult his doctor, and it took him a while in order for him to start changing sizes again. And then when he did, he just kept the Goliath name because it was cooler than Giant Man. You know?
Yeah.
Then, Yellow Jacket, Hank disappears. Yellow Jacket pops into the scene and is acting real funny. And he ends up kissing Janet. And Janet knows who he is. So Yellow Jacket proposed to her. So she jumped on the chance to marry him. And then during their skirmish here with the Circus of Crime, he realized he was Goliath as well as Yellow. And luckily for all of us, he had his Goliath suit on under his Yellow Jacket clothes. So, there didn't need to be any nudity. It's amazing how that worked out.
Fantastic. Did he get it from Reed Richards?
Yeah, he was selling unstable molecules pretty hard at this point. So, which is odd that the Yellow Jacket's costume shredded, but it was good for the story. No, do we lose you? You cut out.
No, I was just blowing my nose.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. So yeah, here Janet is going through the ducks to a meeting of not the Avengers.
Oh wow. The Lady Liberators.
The Lady Liberators, yeah.
Tom Palmer inking now. Wow, we got some good stuff coming up now.
Tom's taking it over.
Wow.
What a classic 2-page spread, though. Just great.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Remember seeing that I think the first time I saw this story, it was in this book. So just loved it. I was a huge Defenders fan. I came on right as Valkyrie was coming in, and her character to me was really fascinating because back when she was first introduced in Defenders, she could only fight men.
Right.
She couldn't hit a woman.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever read an issue of Defenders, but I do have some Don Perlin artwork. I've not even read that.
It's a Don Perlin inked by Vinny. That's classic.
It's inked by Joe Sinnott, I think.
Oh, there you go. That's much better.
And but I've not actually read the pages, and I've never read the book.
The first, it's the Defenders is what the Defenders or the Fantastic Four was the start of the Silver Age. I think the Defenders was the heralding of the Bronze Age. The first 52 Defenders are just classic superhero fight stories. Just great. Just like the first 50 Teen Titans with George Perez and the run of the new X-Men there up through the second appearance or the second time Cockrum come back. Just classic material that hold up real well and show off the genre of superheroes real good. Just classic team stuff. Burns Champions too. The last half dozen issues of Champions are just unbelievable.
Do we have any idea who's coloring this? Because they're all redheads, aren't they?
This is attributed to nobody. Yeah, there is no colorist listed here. Tom's the inker and Herb Cooper is the letterer.
Yeah.
No mention of colors. You can see Tom Palmer inking.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell Tom Palmer because it looks like his stuff all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's penciling, except for composition. It's going to look like Tom Palmer.
Yeah. Look at that. Male chauvinist pigs beware.
Oh, yeah, it's very. That's why they were the liberators. The women's lib was just catching on. Yeah. Pigs beware. Beware the Valkyrie. Well told. You said earlier the Avengers here are our foremost enemies. You've not yet proven that to my satisfaction. Then watch the screen, Medusa, and I soon shall. Just them crazy men, them evil crazy men.
I think the hypocrisy is high with this one. You know, there's no women working on it on the strip. You should have given it to Marie to draw.
Yeah, really.
You know? Yeah, why not? You know, get what's she called? Wheezy Simonson to write it, Marie to draw it.
This is way before Wheezy though.
I know.
Marie was still here working in the bullpen. In fact, here's Roy Thomas and his wife.
All right.
They're at a Halloween party up in, I think it was Connecticut. They used to have one there every year, and that it figured into the comic stories quite a bit. In fact, this guy here is dressed as Nighthawk.
So that's terrible. He's put himself in the comic. So he's broken the fourth wall and put himself in.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, when at the end of the at the end of the wedding of Sue and Reed in the annual, I know Stan and Jack turn up at the end and get turned away, but it's the silhouette, and we don't really, and they're not named.
Yeah,
I think he says, "Oh, we'll have to go, Stan," and he says, "Okay, Jack," or something. But it's just a tongue in cheek. But this thing's an out and out advert for Roy Thomas.
Yeah, and his wife. Yeah,
that's terrible.
Draw me in. Yeah. Nighthawk here ends up becoming it's not this guy. This guy's just a guy dressed as Nighthawk. He's a member of the Squadron Sinister in a Avengers annual that took place, I think, not long before this came out, with the Scarlet Centurion ends up putting the Squadron Supreme. They were 1-for-1 counterparts for the Justice League. And the Scarlet, what's his name? Scarlet Centurion, I think the guy's name is. Turns out to be a Kang anyway. Took the Squadron Supreme and had him fight the Avengers. And Nighthawk was pretty much the Batman equivalent.
Right.
Then they went and took him and put him on Marvel's Earth, and Kyle Richmond was the guy's name, and turned him into a Defender after Valkyrie joined. Nighthawk joined after that, and then he was the glue for the entire team. So he was a rich guy playing with toys, basically playing superhero. But he kept insisting that the Defenders were a group. Yeah. So at the end of every issue, everybody would be stormed off, upset at each other, and pissed off, and saying they're never going to get together again. And Nighthawk would always get them back together again.
Did Quicksilver end up being an android as well?
There might have been a story of that, but not that I'm aware of. He wasn't.
Was it the Vision? Who did the Vision marry then? Didn't he marry some woman?
Vision married Wanda, Scarlet Witch.
So she married a robot.
Yeah. But it was a human robot. When they induct Vision into the Avengers, they show him crying.
It must have been one of those simulacrum from the Blade Runner, them replicants.
Yes, had to have been. Only with a red face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's Doctor Doom doing there?
It's part of that costume party.
Yeah,
it's like a costume parade.
The Red Skull. Look how he's got the mask on. You see the back of his head.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm looking for the issue where they bring Vision in. There's right here. It's a big one.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, great drawing.
Even an android can cry. Yeah.
Look at that. The Avengers. Oh wow. Which one of you is Mrs. Peel? I bet Jeannie's happy about that little. She might have said that, and that's why he's put it in.
Could be, yeah. A super villain? Well, he's a creature of the night. That's what Halloween's all about, right? And the name is Tom. It's Tom. Oh, by the way, this is fantastic. Roy and Jeannie Thomas came all the way from the big bad city for Rutland's 11th Halloween parade. Yeah.
So Roy Thomas has gone as Spider-Man, but he can't wear the mask because we wouldn't know who he was.
Exactly. Yep. We have Clint as Goliath here.
Speaking of Roy Thomas, I think he's in his mid-80s now, isn't he?
Pretty sure, yeah.
He's been around a while.
Mm-hmm. Still around. Does shows every once in a while.
Is he still working? Is he still writing?
I'm not sure what he's doing. I know he was working on Alter Ego there for a while.
Yeah, he revised that, didn't he, for Tomorrow's?
Yeah. I don't know how much work he's getting from the corporate comics. I don't think he's done anything for DC that I know of.
But didn't he just stake a claim on the creation of Wolverine?
That just happened. It's like 6 or 8, right as Wolverine and Deadpool come out.
Yeah.
They decided to start giving him creator royalties. I'm not sure why. He was editor of the book at the time, but I don't know how much of the creation of Wolverine he had a hand in. That was more Mantlo and Tuska, I think. Or Len Wein and Tuska. I think Wayne was writing it at the time. Just really, all of their big hits have been accidents and happy coincidences. With Marvel, they had Wolverine walk in because Hulk was up in Canada fighting Wendigo, and they needed a hook for the end of one of their books, and they didn't want another big huge monster because Hulk was bouncing around the world at that point fighting big huge monsters. So they drew a smaller monster and created Wolverine.
I thought John Romita had some hand in that.
I might have had some hand in designing the initial costume. I'm sure that went around. They ended up patterning it more after a Michigan Wolverine than an actual Wolverine.
You know this guy, this Claw.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Fantastic Four issue he was in. He was after the Black Panther, wasn't it? After the vibranium, is it? The metals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he looked like Abraham Lincoln. And he damaged his hand, didn't it? And then it was the same time, or around the same time, when Kirby redesigned Paste Pot Pete. They changed him to the Trapster, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they gave him a nice skin tight suit when beforehand these two had been sort of middle aged, quite heavy set guys, and all of a sudden they were 6'6" with these skin tight costumes on.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have just left them alone and created a different character.
Well, Claw was
great.
Yeah. Claw was playing around with sound and ended up
the sound,
falling into like a little washing machine thing and turned into a being of pure sound. And that's his little. When he lost his hand, he stuck his little sound gun on the end of his wrist.
Yeah.
Which made it a little difficult for eating sandwiches, but barbecues were great.
Now look at that second page, the first panel. That guy looks really Kirby drawing, isn't it? The guy with the green suit on, raising his hat. It looks like a real Kirby illustration.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Who's the guy behind him with the trousers that don't fit?
Which guy? This guy?
Yeah.
That's a guy pretending to be Nighthawk.
All right. Okay.
It's a costume party. Here's the old witch here from EC walking through. Yeah. Uncredited cameo appearance. It's a great shot of Claw. I always liked that character. That's why he's got such a goofy look on his face here. He's just a guy in a costume here.
Is he supposed to be whispering there? Is that why that lettering's so small?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It says, of course, I could always get off. Well, different connotation in today's society, but that's all right. That'd be a great panel just to stick on Facebook. comics out of context.
Yeah.
Stand back. Let Claw handle this.
Shoo.
They really messed up a great villain when they didn't use him right in Black Panther.
Yep.
Could have been a great constant villain, a reoccurring villain.
Are we still on Tom Palmer here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's difficult to see Buscema in it, apart from the poses.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Palmer. Palmer's a very overpowering inker. He's the anti-Coletta.
Yeah. Did he ink Gene Colan in Daredevil?
I'm sure he did at one point, but his big inking over Colin is all on Dracula.
Right.
Once they teamed up with Marv Wolfman on Tomb of Dracula, they stayed on it for pretty much the rest of the run.
What was that, about 5 years or so?
75 issues, yeah. Plus specials, giant size, and all of the black and white magazines that they did with Dracula at the time.
It's a long time to be drawing one character.
Whirlwind. Oh, it was a regular soap opera. They were running all sorts of stuff. All the supernatural characters came and went through there. And that's how they introduced Blade. Blade was started up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a Shaft with wooden knives. You know, Shaft from the movies. Very blaxploitation oriented. Sort of the rage at that point in the cinema. A great shot of the melter here. This lettering's kind of bizarre. Very hand done, but
yeah, it's that Herb Cooper guy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not the best.
Looking at it, yeah, I don't remember it being that bad, but yeah, this looks pretty amateurish here in parts. I know he's using an Ames guide here, but he's having a rough time. It's not. I don't think his adjustment is right. The spacing between lines here is really off. It's a lot more than most. And here, this just looks weird.
This whole thing looks like a rush job to me.
Gets better and better. Well, Palmer was fast, but he was incredibly competent. You know? That's why all of his stuff looks like his stuff.
Yeah. I'm surprised that John Buscema's not drawing these horses in this strip, because he's good at drawing horses, and he's just got their eyes there.
Could be tight on deadline again too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a rush job. I think it seems very thrown together.
This page looks a little rushed, very much so. It's got a nice angle there, overhead shot. This Black Widow.
Call me the Black Widow. Thanks for the assist. Oh dear. Yeah. I think it was when I started reading Roy Thomas, because he took over everything. When Roy Thomas took over everything was when I realized how good Stan Lee was at dialogue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Scarlet Witch here says, as usual, you underestimate the power of a woman, Goliath. Especially one who, with a mere gesture, can cause a precariously leaning tree trunk to descend upon the tussle green
head.
Upon a tousled green head. Yeah, smacking out Radioactive Man. Bravo, Wanda. In fact, you've all done wonderfully. I don't understand what you're doing here. That telegram you received. was the message which spelled your downfall. Wretched male, you shall fare
Terrible.
Against me no better than whirlwind. What? But later I'm going to marry your daughter. Who oddly enough is not part of the Liberators here. Come on, Widow, let's take down the Panther together.
Mm-hmm.
Stay back. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't fight women, even super-powered ones. Black Panther says, even you had better learn to Avenger if you wish to survive.
Oh, no.
Wasp sting and your widow's bite. I always thought they'd make a winning combo, Dasha. It's a great panel, though. It's fun. Dynamic. Yeah. Well, don't hand out the Purple Hearts yet, lady. Still got the toughest Avengers to tackle, and we, Goliath, look, they're stepping out of that alley. Uh-oh.
That's great. Ooh.
Valkyrie turns out to be the Enchantress.
Up against the wall, male chauvinist pig. This is terrible. It's good, but you know what I mean? It's great comic, but it's just terrible. This is what they're doing.
Yeah. Once again, driving the point home that women's lib is evil.
Yeah. Whilst trying to say that all men are evil.
Yeah. That Enchantress. Valkyrie, do not call me that. Not any longer. The past. The time for pretense is past. Sure. Something's happening. She's beginning to change form. Precisely, and now with a simple spell holds you motionless. You shall learn at last that there is no Valkyrie, but only the Enchantress.
That Enchantress drawing there, you could change that balloon to you just hit the jackpot, Tiger.
Yeah. Fantastic. That immortal is one of Avengers' oldest, fiercest foes. But why the deception? Why the use of Wanda and the others? And where is her former ally, the Executioner? Hang in there, boy heroes. I got a hunch she's warming up to lay that on us. She's got to lay it on him. It's that hip late 60s lingo at work here. Trying to be hip for the kids. Yeah. She ditched the Executioner and decided to become Valkyrie.
That Executioner looks like Baron Mordo, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, they get rid of her. She blows up.
And then
boom.
The blonde girl in the center panel looks like Dolly Parton with that hair.
Enchantress here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that girl, he caught her. She caught the Executioner with somebody.
Oh no.
From the mist, a woman, not simply a woman, Asgardian, but she who rules these regions, who hath long espied thee from afar. Come reign with me and be my sovereign. Behold, what of me, immortal? You once pined for Hercules. Now do likewise for the Executioner. Yeah. Then they were gone, and I was left in darkness and despair. She got pissed off, so she decided to spread her despair around. I divined also that the masters of evil sought my prize and used the Avengers against them, then you against the men. But now all of you have served your purpose and so must die. And she's going to send out a death spell, and Wanda puts a bubble around her and she blows herself up.
Yeah, with the clues there. Wanda saying, "Did she? I wonder."
Yeah.
You know, because obviously she came back later.
She's gone, blasted to atoms, and her spell over us is broken. She died the very death she planned for all of us. Did she? I wonder. Yeah, then when you held your hex power out in reserve because we suspected the Valkyrie's secret. Yes, but only after she called Jan wench in a tone she once used on me back in Avengers Special #1. Just for the record, my suspicions broke her spell over me since it depended on her keeping our trust. Well, at least I'm glad of one thing. You birds finally learned your lesson about that women's lib bull. That's what you think, male chauvinist pig. One of these days, the Liberators will stage a comeback, right, Jan? You know, Wanda, they just might at that. And so our offbeat Halloween saga ends. But the battle of the sexes goes on and on and on.
What a terrible story. It's just terrible. That was pointless. That's better.
Right to a great pinup. Look at that. Yeah.
I wonder who's inked that.
I don't know. I remember as a kid copying a lot of those stances, though. It's John and somebody. John Buscema must have penciled it.
I'm just looking at that Thor face. Looks a bit cynic.
Yeah. Almost has a tinge of Ditko to it. Thor.
But he wasn't there, was he? Then
No.
No. It was great though.
And then this Treasury ends with a great back cover of the current run of Avengers by Kirby.
Yeah.
Except for Hulk. Hulk wasn't there at the time.
Who's the blue guy? Is that Wolverine? Oh no,
this guy here, that's Beast.
The Beast, yeah, from the X-Men.
Beast ended up joining about this period along with Moondragon, Moondragon here.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I never liked the group books. I was really pleased. I don't know whether it happened later, but I was really pleased that Spider-Man turned them down.
Yeah.
That would have ruined his character, I think, because he's a loner, isn't he? And I can't understand why Hulk was in there, really, but, you know.
Well, Hulk started out with it back when he was somewhat cognizant, too, right? He had more of his sense around him, more of his senses back then. Then he lost it for a while and then regained it for a while, then turned gray and did all sorts of stuff.
But we know the reasons for the Avengers being created, don't we? So it's...
Yeah.
We just threw everybody in there, didn't they?
All at once. In like a week and a half, I think it was, Kirby did that book.
Yeah.
Charles in the house. Charles, how you doing? Indie pinup is Sal. Oh, Sal Buscema? Okay.
All right. Inking it, you mean?
Oh, inking? Could be, yeah. Why we didn't recognize it. They don't ink. He doesn't ink his John's stuff very often. It's great stuff, though.
Is that just the inking, Charles? Is it a John Buscema, Sal Buscema art?
That's what it looks like. I could be wrong. Sal's big run was on Defenders and on Marvel Team Up there. It says, no, pencils are Sal. Oh, okay. Must be both.
All right. Just Sal Buscema then.
Thanks, Charles. Yeah.
He should have drawn the book.
Probably.
I remember that Avengers Vision cover there.
Classic, huh?
Yeah, that John Buscema cover there. I remember that.
That one's all of them are iconic.
That top left cover looks a little like Gene Colan, doesn't it? You know, that kind of looseness on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but it looks like it. But I do remember that Avengers.
So they were.
In fact, I might have even bought that one. I didn't used to read the Avengers, but I just like that artwork.
They were all feeding off of each other at this point.
Yeah.
It's a titanic treat. For all true believers, we present the special gallery of all the capricious covers as they originally appeared on the stories printed herein. Glom your eyes on them, Tiger. They're bits of madcap magic from mighty Marvel's past.
What does that mean? Glom your. What sort of a word is that? Glom your eyes. I don't know.
Glom to glom is to attach yourself.
All right. Never heard that before.
Yeah, you don't see that word around very much anymore. Sam Granger inks.
Oh, right.
That piece. Thanks
Well,
again,
what a team then.
You should come on if you can.
What a team.
Links on Facebook. Yeah, great team.
Sam Granger, there's another one. Didn't he ink The Inhumans by Kirby? Just for issue as well.
Likely. Yeah.
It was really good stuff. It should have been more of that. George Klein and Sam Granger. What's he called? Sam Granger.
Granger. Yeah, Granger.
Yeah, he should have been on a lot more Kirby, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I showed earlier, I pulled the Avengers Essentials Book 3 here so that we could look at more John Buscema stuff, because I knew we wouldn't be able to take up the whole episode with that one Lady Liberator story in the Treasury. That's got some great stories in it here as well. Is there anything?
That Thor doesn't look like Thor, does it, on that cover?
No.
That face.
No, but the cover, I had to look at that yesterday too, because it didn't look right to me as well. And it's Immelman. Cover pencils, Stuart Immelman. Cover inks was Wade Von Drawbadger. Never heard of him. Might have been an assumed name, perhaps.
Yeah, probably a few artists working on it.
It's a great set of John Byrne heads here. Yeah. Any particular issue you want to take a look at? Because some of it is shot off of the original comics. That's why it's grayscale. But there's a lot of really great black and white stuff in here.
Just go through it, because, like I said, I'm not really familiar with the Avengers because I didn't read it. But there's a typical John Buscema drawing there. That guy there, the top left. Just go over. Next page. Next page.
Next page.
Yeah. That guy with the beard there, that's a real John Buscema drawing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Almost like a pirate. His Tarzan work was a lot like that.
Wow.
That same vibe to it. Yeah.
Wow.
To tame a titan.
Look at that odd leg.
Yeah.
No, the Hercules. Is it Hercules? Look at that. It's really weird, isn't it?
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
it's real Gene Colan type.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Gene comes in here pretty quickly, but this is still John.
Is John inking himself here?
It's John and doesn't say Sam Rosen.
No, that'll be the lettering.
Some lettering with Sam Rosen. Yeah, he must have done it.
Right.
Must have inked himself on this.
Lots of black on it. Really nice.
Can tighten down on this a lot. In just a second as we zoom in there.
That's it.
I've got a whole run of essentials, but the books can be clumsy holding them open like this. It's a bind on them so thick. Yeah, look at that. That's very unusual inks.
Yeah.
Mostly for Avengers.
Something I've noticed as well on that previous special, there was a lot of space in all the panels,
Mm-hmm.
and now there isn't.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Got a lot tighter,
which makes it better.
I'm not sure if that isn't later work. The Liberator stuff. That's it's at 83.
So that's a good few years later then, isn't it? This is issue 50.
Number 83. This here is number 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. So he got looser as he went on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that hand's not good, is it? Look at the fingers on that hand.
It's a little screwy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thumb is really bad.
And then he does the top panel on the previous page. Look at that with the sonar screen thing.
Yeah.
Look at the blacks in there. Wow. Fantastic. Wow. Clamp. And Roy Thomas is writing this.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
I think he is, yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a Stan Lee.
No,
it is.
Stan Lee's.
Roy, yeah, they inspired Roy Thomas to draw it or to write. So yeah, this is Roy's writing. Interesting shot there.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Hercules coming up and smacking this guy. A whack. There's a Zot.
Whatever that is.
Well, it's a Wom. Zot was a great independent comic that Scott McCloud did before he did Understanding Comics.
Right.
Little blonde kid in a red shirt. That was a fun strip for a while. The Coom. And there's a Scruck.
Scruck. Typhon. The speaks Typhon. Crack.
Just what the kids wanted. Big fights.
Yeah. Again, that leg looks a bit dodgy on that left-hand page at the bottom, under Scruck, doesn't it? Looks a bit strange.
Yeah. Gets the job done.
Yeah.
It's a reprint on This Is Light. Starting to get almost a Don Heck vibe here.
Yeah. Yeah. Flip through. I do like that the way he's coloured black the guy's hair and beard in on that bottom panel. That's fantastic. Yeah, and his eyebrows and everything. Really, really good.
Lip. Oh, looks like he's getting interrupted by the elder gods. Is that Zeus?
We are returned.
Yeah, we tied him up. Yeah. Moving him along. Looks like they're going to exile him down that smoking hole here.
It's all that. I don't know. Stanley sort of gets away with it, but it's like when they put at the end there. In other words, this is going to be what? Going to be a gasser.
Yeah,
So be here, hallowed one. You know, it's just like, oh god,
right there.
A
Well,
ga-
you got to use that hip lingo for the kids.
yeah, but I was that kid, and I didn't think it was hip. Mind you, I probably didn't know what hip was at the time.
Nobody probably did. But it was a gasser. In other words, this is going to be a gasser. So be here, hallowed one.
It's like they're just giving the letter something to do.
Mm-hmm. Fill a little space.
Look at that. Wow. George Tusker inking.
Yes, it is.
And the clutches of the collector. Some great covers.
Yeah, very much so. Even though you can't see the detail here, it was really a great cover. It's the problem with shooting it off of comics and gray tone in it. You're losing a lot of detail. You can see what's going on, but there's so much of the line work that's just gone for the grayscale here. Just missing all that detail is just gone.
Baku.
Yeah, Bakum.
Very wordy again, isn't it?
Well, that's comics at the time. Roy making sure he gets paid by the page.
Yeah, but he's only got to put Bakum on it. Look at that. Great
Special,
art.
inspired by Don Martin.
Yeah.
Bakum. There's a thumb. And
Look at that. There's that thing that looks at
that
there.
face again.
Yeah. Is it the same panel?
Might as well be. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. We go back instead of forward.
All right. What happened there?
Oh no! You know what? I bet they reprinted it.
Have they
Sure did.
they put it in twice?
Yeah, it's a binding.
Oh my god!
There we are.
What a cock up collector's item.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And that we're back at the collector again.
Oh.
Wonder if we're just going to keep copying over and over again.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it?
That is. I'm going to have to go through and make sure all of the books are in here now. I thought this was a complete, run.
I bet somebody got their ass kicked for that.
Here we are. The battle joined. This is John and Trumpy again. No. Yeah, Tuska. Let's get Tuska and Trumpy mixed up.
Why have they put the upside down in the credit box?
For fun. They got to turn it over and read it.
Right. That cover is a rip-off of that Fantastic Four cover, isn't it? Where they're all...
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And they did an Avengers annual like this when they fight the Squadron Supreme. I think they used the same basic idea. But facing off like that, there's a lot of covers that are set up like that.
Mm.
Where they're running towards each other. There's a couple of Justice League covers that are like that too.
Yeah.
Look at that overhead shot, though. Great stuff.
Wow, great hand.
You see, he's getting more relaxed here. 4 panels, 4 panels. Angel, old costume.
I think George Tusker is another underrated artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do like his work. He did a lot on Captain America, didn't he?
Yeah,
is it Tales to Astonish?
Yeah. I believe you're right. His big run was on Hulk, though.
Right.
He was on Hulk for quite a while, and then Trempy come in. That's why I get him confused.
Yeah.
And then
I can see that. Yeah.
He went on to do, I want to say, the Spider-Man comic strip for years.
Tusker.
Yeah, and no, maybe not Spider-Man. Maybe it was Superman. One of the superhero comic strips in the newspaper he handled for years.
What a gig.
Yeah.
That's like Williamson on Star Wars.
Exactly.
I remember it was when in Tales to Astonish, when they brought Captain America back, they brought him back in the Second World War, didn't they, fighting the Germans again? And Tusker was on a lot of those.
Yeah.
I thought he was great.
Well, that was a need. They put the Tales to Astonish stories back in World War II on purpose because they thought they were confusing the fans with Captain America and the Avengers.
Right.
So they'd make a big deal that these stories take place back in World War II. Did that a lot. That's the main reason why they pared the team down in Avengers 16 and got rid of Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and Giant Man and Wasp at that point, because they had so many people writing in letters going, well, you just had Thor up in Asgard fighting somebody, and here he is in Avengers. How does that work out?
Yeah, Thor, it's like Superman, shouldn't be in any of those team books because they're gods, aren't they, basically?
Yep. Still what a great period, great time. There's a toad. Look at that face.
It is Magneto is I know it's a Kirby idea. It's a very dark side, and Lord Vader, isn't it? Kind of personality.
Well, right up there with Doctor Doom and those characters. He was created to be a major villain.
I didn't like. I only saw. I'm not sure. Even sure. I think it's the X-Men, where the guy in Lord of the Rings plays Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
When they had him, when we had to have the sympathy thing because he goes into Dachau or somewhere like that.
Right. Yeah.
And you think, oh, why do they do this?
Well, I thought the opening scene in the concentration camp was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was good, but to me it was unnecessary.
It was a softening of the character. You mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah, we had to sort of understand him and so well, he's not really bad.
Yeah,
and he is. It's like the guy who sent people to Dachau. He was bad as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, they just water things down. I think. I don't know.
Black Panther's still in his cowl.
Yeah.
Not looking right.
No, it's a very thick line as well, isn't it, on the inking?
Yeah, it is. Right there in that shadow. It almost looks like he's drooling. This is really heavy hair.
Yeah, we said that mask just does not work.
No.
I mean, to me, his face, it doesn't look like a black man there.
Mm-mm. Well, and again, how do you draw that without running to the old stereotype? And really, you don't want to do that.
No, but you want him to look like a black man if he's a black man.
Well, the way they solved that is they colored him brown in the comics so that you could tell that he was an African.
Yeah. But the best thing they did was remove
Let's
all
put
the
him
face.
back to his original costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did that because everybody complained that wasn't Black Panther to them. They already knew that he looked cooler with his whole face covered.
Look at that top right panel on the second page. The top panel on the second page. It looks that guy. It doesn't look right, does it?
But this guy Cyclops here leaning.
Yeah, I wonder if John was doing his layouts again and
Probably
went over them.
Just quick roughs, because this really looks like Tuska.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. It's probably doing real loose layouts.
I mean, if you look at
that panel's awesome though. Look at
yeah,
that.
if you look at that page, top panel on the right again, is that Iceman there?
Here, yeah.
Well, he looks about 50. I thought Iceman was 19.
Yeah, you're right. They're all kids at this point.
Yeah.
In just early college years, really. 19, 20 years old. None of them look like it though.
And look at that panther, strange on the left there.
Here.
Yeah, strange anatomy.
Yeah. Thick shoulders, thin waist. Uh-oh. Imitating Liefeld almost. Wow.
Well, yeah, 40 years before.
Yeah. There's a Batum Womp. Batum Womp.
Batum Womp.
And a Splick. The difference in line weight here on inking.
Yeah.
From one panel to the next.
This is probably why I didn't buy the Avengers.
So that jaw here too isn't right. Very cartoony looking. Almost Frank Robbins-ish right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do stuff like that, you need to be consistent, at least for the story. A lot of dynamics here.
It's got the action, but the drawing's off.
Yeah. No,
which is a shame.
I think that's also the combination of the inker with the light layouts of Buscema.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this, a lot of the positioning in that looks like Tuska might have gone back over and redrawn it. This looks really hastily done.
I wonder if that was covered up by the colouring, that Magneto at the bottom.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
You know, a lot of it was lost in that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure these are shot off of stats, black and white stats that they had for the issues.
Right.
At this point, they were running weekly over in the UK in black and white on newsprint. All of this material, which really has me wondering why they shot off of the original comics and the previous issues back there.
Mm-hmm.
When they had everything already in black and white. Look at that ink job. That doesn't look right at all.
This is an open question, but I wonder if Buscema and everybody got paid a royalty on those reprints.
I sincerely doubt it.
Mm.
I don't think, especially at this point, they were paying anything for reprints. That's why they went through an entire phase of at Marvel back in the late 70s where they were reprinting everything. You know, Marvel collector's items, classics, triple action, Marvel triple action, all of that stuff was coming out. Marvel's greatest comics, where they were reprinting all of the FF Marvel tales. They were reprinting all of the Spider-Man material. I bet those guys didn't see royalties from any of that. That was just money in the bank for Marvel.
Yeah.
Here come the new Masters of Evil. This is number 54. Much better inks here.
Yeah.
This is John and Tuska again, but it's much nicer. Must have had more time.
Yeah, I think the penciling must have been tighter on this one.
That could be too, yeah.
Nice hand at the top there.
Look at that shot of, I think that's Jarvis here. It's really
Yeah.
good.
That looks like a Buscema Nick Fury, doesn't it, at the top there?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the Masters of Evil here. That's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I we'll never know, but I think John's had longer on this one, or taken longer on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's hitting his looser style here at this point, and it's just so dynamic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great shot.
The Melter.
Old Iron Man villain. He was Masters of Evil from the start, though. Yeah. Along with Enchantress and Executioner and Black Knight. Baron Zemo, I think, was running them at the time.
Right.
On the early Avengers books. Claws in here.
There's where he gets blasted by T'Challa in FF53.
Yeah.
He was much better when he looked like Abraham Lincoln rather than this superhero costume he developed.
Oh, I don't know. I like that costume. I saw that. I was introduced to that on the Fantastic Four cartoon by Hanna-Barbera.
Okay.
Because then I always thought that was that he was a hot-looking villain. That's all pure Kirby design there too.
Yeah.
Whirlwind.
Who's that? Whirlwind.
Yeah. It's been like a top. Had wind powers.
Oh.
They couldn't call him Fart Man. They called him Whirlwind. Just like they had to call the villain in Spider-Man the Shocker instead of the Vibrator. Black Knight here. Dane Whitman. Also starts out as a villain and then goes good, becomes an Avenger.
Surely he should be in Prince Valiant, that guy.
Yeah. They started out with the tin can head, Black Knight.
Right. Oh, yeah. They jazzed him up a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that top panel there on that second page where he's dodging that, whatever he's dodging.
Here?
Yeah. That's great, isn't it?
It's zapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah. And it's the way he's being shot at, and he's avoiding the blast, and he's firing at his bow at the same time.
He's Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah. All in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Swack.
Hawkeye was a mutant anyway.
Was he?
Headshot. No, just joking.
Oh.
I just had a dead aim. It's like Green Arrow. Lots and lots of practice, kid. That's what it is. You get stuck on an island for 5 years and all you can do is shoot a bow and arrow. You kind of get good at it. Yeah. There's Whirlwind. Used to be the Human Top.
Oh, yeah, I remember the Human Top, yeah.
They have old Giant Man villain. Giant Man and Wasp. But Whirlwind sounds much cooler. So they gave him a pinhead with a couple of little antlers.
With his almost Galactus hat on.
Yeah. That's a helmet. He kept bumping into things and hurting his head.
Bumping into that girl at the bottom there. Thwack. dear. Get the hell out of here.
That's what happens too. Black Panther comes up, smacks him on the side, sends him flying.
You know, I just realized something. Black Panther with his mask like open looks like Daredevil there, doesn't he?
A bit, yeah. Especially in black and white.
Yeah.
Radioactive man.
Look at that hand on that second panel on the left-hand page. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radioactive man.
What's this? Oh, he's got it looks like Paste Pot Pete's gun.
Yeah.
Trapster. There's a very Tuska face right there.
Wow. Look at that.
It stands out.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Radioactive man must have the Trapster's gun there. All the foam. It's not enough for him to just be radioactive. I need a foam gun.
Where's his nose gone? On his mask?
This guy?
No, the one at the top left.
Oh. Here?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't have one. Claw? Yeah.
He didn't have a nose.
He's pure sound. He doesn't have to smell.
Oh, I see. Right. How does he smell? Bloody awful.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
Also,
like that it reminds me of that classic line from Fire Sign Theater. They were a comedy troupe. You haven't seen the last of me. No, but the first of you turns my stomach.
So he's pure sound now, is he?
Well, yeah, once he fell into that
Yeah.
Black Panther knocked him into that whatever sound converter.
Right. I forgot he was pure sound.
Yeah. So instead of, stretching all over, he was lucky just to make himself human and stick the little sound gun at the end of his stump of a wrist. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Just believe, kids. That's the way it works back then.
Some great hands in this.
It is, isn't it?
Story. Yeah.
It's the character out of I don't remember the character's name, but he's from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
To me, he looks like one of those. Is it a Jawa on Star Wars?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Turns out I think it's that Dr. Druid. I'm not sure who that is.
It's Jarvis. The real Crimson
Cowl. Oh, yeah,
Cowl.
it is. It's Jarvis.
It's Crimson Cowl.
The real Crimson Cowl.
Yeah, he's none other than Jarvis. Oh, no.
I think he turns out to be a robot, too.
Oh, dear. Easy cop out.
Yeah. And he would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for them pesky kids. Mayhem over Manhattan.
Just turn back one page. The guy there on the right hand page at the top right, he reminds me of a Cyberman.
Here?
Yeah, it's like a Cyberman from Doctor Who.
I thought that was Ultron.
It might be, but it looks like a Cyberman.
Yeah.
He's a robot anyway. So
it turns out to be Ultron in the end, yeah.
Oh, God. Another nice cover, though.
Mayhem over Manhattan. John and George Klein here.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
That's a great cover.
Yeah.
Lots
George
happening.
Klein was fantastic.
Yeah.
I would urge people to check out those two Thors that you mentioned.
Yeah. One large piece of Zipatone right there. Back behind here to gray out that background.
It's got to be dodgy taking that off, hasn't it? Cutting that out.
Took a little while. Same here.
Do you know, I'd be scared to drop it on there.
Oh, back then they didn't have time to worry about it. They just had to do it. Had to get it done. Plop it down, cut it out.
You think this is John Buscema's work? I can't chop this up. Come on.
I don't even think they were thinking in that direction at this point. They're just getting it done. George was hitting a deadline.
Scrack.
Here as well. Let's zip the tone back there. Nice line work here, though. Nice feathering. Thin to thin.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Yeah, Masters of Evil were in here for quite a bit.
Great Buscema faces.
Yeah, look at that. It's fantastic stuff. Get your block and tackle out. We've got to move Goliath.
That's what she said.
He's unconscious. Yeah. That's why Janet liked him so much. Look at that movement.
Oh, look at that top panel there. Wham. Look at that thick line on that next to that center panel there. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, repelled. It's that classic twisting body.
Yeah.
So good.
John Buscema draws really good ears as well.
Yeah. A little bit of white zip here, looks like. The view screen. White zip at time. What? Jarvis, no! It's Ultron.
Ultron 5. He's whacked him. Has he killed him? Is he a robot?
Jarvis, no. I don't know if he's a robot there or not. I know they do knock him unconscious. Poor Jarvis. He always got the blunt end of the stick.
Courage. It's very action-packed, this strip.
Oh,
isn't it?
oh yeah, very much so.
A lot going on.
That's what was that was your typical for Marvel during this period. That and long-winded speeches.
Yeah, and this has got both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised there's room for any drawing.
Yeah, let me smack you around while I give you a big soliloquy about your evil plans. Yeah, there's a Karash. A couple faces.
Away, Aragon. I'm alive, alive.
Yeah. Crawling out of an alley, out of the rubble and debris. Yeah.
I think John, on that second panel with that hand coming out, I think John thought he was drawing the Hulk.
Could be.
Coming out of all the bricks.
Yeah. Yeah, great stuff here.
That Ultron guy is always waving his arms around like that, isn't he? He's always angry.
As angry robots prone to do. Yeah. It's that typical super villain over exaggerated gestures. I'm conquering the world kind of stuff.
Yeah. Zach.
The walk.
Never stops this, does it?
Well, they got a whole team of supervillains to fight, so take them out.
Look at that. You better believe it, Prince Valiant. Oh, dear.
Where'd you see that?
Second page, first panel. You better believe it, Prince Valiant.
Oh, yeah. Once the door is locked, it stays locked.
And then you need Arnie coming in. Open the door, there's a bomb in there.
Yeah. The butler named Jarvis and gave your headquarters ground plans to your foes. Jarvis? We forgot all about that treacherous turncoat. We shouldn't, Miss Van Dyne. While you steer this craft for your mansion, I'll tell you why. That's actually Jarvis that helped him out. What a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one is that John and
Wow.
that's
George
George Klein.
Yeah.
Klein again. Do you want to keep looking at this? We're about an hour and a half in.
I think we should save this because it's really good.
Really? You want to look at this again next week?
Yeah.
You can start here because this rolls from Buscema into I think there's an issue or two of Gene. There's a annual by Heck in the middle of that Scarlet Centurion story.
Yeah. I think we should stay on this because I think Russ might be interested in looking at this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Then Buscema comes in.
Oh, look at that.
Again. The classic.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Floating Head.
Yeah. We'll save
Farther
it.
in for Buscema. That's
Oh, look,
the Van Dyne wedding that we looked at in the Treasury.
Yeah.
And I think Barry Windsor Smith comes in for a couple issues.
And ruins it.
Yeah, pretty much keeps it the same. Then Gene, I think Colin comes in for a while.
Death be not proud.
We'll put a bookmark there and look at it next week. That's fine. All right. It's Avengers Essentials number 3. You can find it with the printing error. Good luck. I'll go through and see if all the issues are there. Probably not. But yeah, we'll pick that up next week then. Look at more John Buscema.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. This Sunday, we're going to look at an issue of the Jack Kirby Collector. 9 a.m. on Sunday Funnies.
Brilliant. Look at that. Look at that.
I'll have to pull the camera back up for that one. That's very treasury sized. Look at that.
Fantastic.
Still going to pull it up. There we are. Great oversized book. Lots of Kirby. It's all Kirby, really. And there's a lot of pencil work in there as well. We'll take a look at that on Sunday. Yeah. Sunday Funnies. That's Jack Kirby Collector, I think number 34. Yep.
Just give us a quick preview.
Great material. You want a peek?
Yeah, let's have a quick peek at some pencil work. There you go. Look at that. Oh, that's the cover for Losers, isn't it?
Yep.
Look at that.
A lot of different articles, a lot of great pencil work, some nice ink work. Fantastic stuff from Tomorrow's, folks, coming up on Sunday. Jack Kirby Collector.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent.
Give you something to look forward to. Some great, great Kirby work here. Probably a better camera, too. There we are. More next week. We're at a good point to stop, and it's been an hour and a half, and hope that you've enjoyed your stay as much as we have. Hit that like button. Any type of interaction that we have with you on whatever platform just goes to help us be seen by more people. We appreciate it, and it's free. If you haven't subscribed to the channel or platform you're watching us on, or follow, or wherever you watch us, please do that as well. We are archived over on the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, the Randy Zim YouTube channel at ZIMM YouTube channel, and the Indie Comics Network. So wherever you find us, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Like I said, any kind of interaction just goes to help our numbers. All right, Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me all over the place. You can find all of my 12 books, various subjects, science fiction, adult humor, JFK assassination, manned space flight, all sorts of stuff on there. 12 books on Amazon. You can also find me on Fund My Comic, where you'll be able to get Hatch annotated. And if you go on eBay or contact me or Amazon, you'll be able to get Crikey and Super Spies and Comics Limited. So just about everywhere, and on these programs as well.
Great. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work at Arrow Comics, or especially with the Shadow Kingdom right now. That's available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, The Atlantean, 2 volumes available, The Adventures of Cull and Brule. Great sword and sorcery stuff with artwork by Russ Leach. Really proud of those stories. And look for volume 3 at Fund My Comic in mid-July. So, and for more information on the Atlantean and the work that Russ and I are doing, go to russleach.com, and sign up for the mailing list. He won't bombard you with stuff in your inbox every day. Usually maybe once a week or once every other week when we're running the campaign. Most of the time it's once a month, just to keep you posted as to the Atlantean's progress. A lot of fun stuff up there. There are a lot of fun stuff to come. So again, deeply appreciate you stopping by. We do this twice a week. Every Friday here at 5 a.m. we do Comics by Night, where we look at great material like this. And then on Sundays, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., and this is Eastern Standard times, we look at Sunday Funnies, where we look at the more unusual material that's related to comics. We look at trading cards, all sorts of unusual books there that all have to do with comics. We just got done spending a few weeks, 6 weeks, I think, on the Star Wars comic strip. So a lot more great stuff to come, folks. And if there's anything you want us to take a look at our archives first, but drop us a suggestion wherever you're finding this program. We'll be more than happy to consider it for future shows. So, and again, we deeply appreciate you stopping by. I think that's it, right? Go to fundmycomic.com, take a look at those campaigns. A lot of great variety over there, a lot of fun stuff. And that's where Arrow Comics do all their campaigns at. Glenn's Hatch book is there as well. And one of these days, Arrow will have a storefront set up over at Fund My Comic. I just have to make the time to sit there and do it. So, but anyway, folks, we hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we don't get paid for this. We're not monetized by YouTube. We're not doing this, hoping that a click is going to bring us a fraction of a cent in return. We look over this stuff because we love it. This is the material that inspires us, that keeps us working, and fuels our creativity. And we hope it does the same for you. And, if you get a chance, go over to Indie Comics Network and take a look at the wide variety of programs that they offer as well. And in the meantime, folks, have a great weekend.
See you Sunday.
We'll see you on Sunday morning for Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. Eastern time for some great Jack Kirby stuff.
Yeah, don't miss it.
So until then, folks, or the next time we see you, take care.
See ya.
See you on the next one. And there we are. In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull in his right hand ruled the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures and sign up now for news with the email list at russleach.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy.
Sorry, I cut that off early. She's all gravy, baby.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with you.
Hi y'all, it's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is Budweiser. Yeah, she's really sweet and I like her, but why's her voice sound like that?
And by the way, did you ever try to hide an elephant?
You will be dead in 5 minutes.
For your information, my doctor gave me 3 years to live, and I don't intend to make a fool out of him. Come in. Is there anything I can do for you? What a ridiculous statement.
Mr. Grunion, I want you to help me.
I have a little sand left. What seems to be the trouble?
Some men are following me.
Really? I can't understand why.
Don't Marilyn look gorgeous there? She's fantastic, isn't she?
Absolutely fantastic.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.